Hi, welcome to How to Repair. Today we're actually going to fix a pump problem with this tumble dryer because the container light comes on, which I'll show you in a minute. But the real reason I want to show you this is I want to explain to you how you can save in excess of £70 a year. And that is a very underestimated figure. I'm not only going to repair this tumble dryer, I'm going to show you how to maintain it so it's working efficiently. Now, as you'll see in the graph here now, or the display that I'm showing you on the screen, if you are saving 1 kilowatt of electricity per load, because the average condenser tumble dryer runs for roughly 2 hours, 2 hours 30 minutes per load cycle to dry the clothes efficiently. Now, on a 2-hour basis, the ampage that's being drawn when the tumble dryer is working is normally 9 amp, about 2 kilowatt. So that's 2 kilowatt per hour, 2-hour cycle or 2 hours 30 minutes. With allowing the thermostat kicking in and kicking out, we would say that the tumble dryer was using around about 3 kilowatt to 4 kilowatt per load. But if it isn't efficient, then it could be using an extra kilowatt of electricity because it takes longer to dry the clothes. So if we look at this equation and say 1 kilowatt and we're doing 5 loads a week, that's 5 kilowatt times 52 weeks in the year, that's 260 kilowatt. 260 kilowatt with the ludicrous prices that we have for electricity at the moment equates to over £78 per year in saving. Now, these figures I'm giving you are seriously underestimated. In other words, I think you would be saving more money. Now, this job is only going to take you an hour. So if you want to earn £78 an hour, please watch the video all the way to the end. Hi, welcome to How to Repair. A few days ago I actually did a repair on the circuit board on this machine, but I've been using it in the workshop to dry the rags and everything, and we've suddenly had a container light coming on when the water chamber is empty. This normally means that you've either got a condensing problem, a problem with the pump system, or one of the sensors on the machine. Now, it's quite a simple process. There's a quick fix on this machine, which I'll show you the secret compartment inside the condenser plate, which you can actually clean out, and sometimes this will rectify the problem, but on other occasions you will have to take the side panel off the machine to get access to the pump system. And what's actually happening with this machine is we turn it on to a standard drying system. There's clothes in the machine at the moment. The machine will run for a few minutes and I can see that everything's working correctly with the heating system. It's drawing 9 amp, as you can see here on the dial. It will run for about 4 or 5 minutes and then it will cut out. We'll just wait for it to cut out now. It normally takes about 5-10 minutes, but I'll just fast forward this bit until the point it actually has cut out. And there you can see the water container light has come on and the machine has stopped. And inside the machine, the clothes are actually quite warm. This, as I showed you then, the heating system was on. So the first thing we need to do is go down to the condenser plate, remove the condenser plate, clean all this area, then try the machine again. If this doesn't work, then we'll go to the side panel and do a full service on the pump system. Okay, before doing any work, it's always worth inspecting this chamber. Now, I'm going to actually take the cover out, always clean these items thoroughly. This will go in the sink. Then you have the condenser. Now, the condenser flows air in 2 directions. The air comes through on the side and also goes through this direction. It is well worth cleaning this outside with a hose pipe. You can't do any damage to it. It's a condenser plate, but you really want to get rid of all the fluff inside here. Now, I'm going to remove this panel so we've got ease of access so I can get the camera in there. So and this pops up. Again, you can start to see the fluff and everything that is building up inside this dryer, and we want to thoroughly clean this. This should be done on a regular basis. Right, let me explain how it all works. The air comes down from the door, through the filter in the door, then comes down here, and this sensor has an ohms read. It's an NTC sensor, and it has a preset ohms reading at a certain temperature. The ohms reading will change with the temperature of the air, and also the moisture will account for some of it as well. The air then flows in that direction. As I was saying, the air comes down this direction. It then comes into the front cover, where the air is diverted, as you can see here with the scoop with a curvature. The air then flows through the condenser in that direction. This is our warm, moist air. A cooler air, which is inside the machine, which is drawn in by the fan system, then goes through this direction. The warm air then condenses as it goes through this plate, drips down into the water container that we saw at the back. Then the pump is activated and transfers this water to the collection tray at the top of the machine. I hope I explained that correctly for you. Okay, I'm going to start stripping the machine down, and let me tell you what we need to do. The first thing before doing any of the work is take out all these components and really clean the machine. I can't emphasize this enough. Maintenance is no different on a washing machine or tumble dryer than it is on a car. Occasionally you have to do maintenance for it to work efficiently. As you can see, I'm just going to wipe my hand down here, and you can see all this fluff that is coming out, and there's loads of it, so I'm thoroughly going to clean all that. I've already undone the 2 screws on the lid. So the first thing, make sure you unplug the machine from the electricity. Then we'll take off the panel, and let me quickly explain the screws that need to be undone. The facial panel has to come off the machine. So that's 3 screws on this side, 1 on that side, and we'll start with them. Do keep all these screws in order as you take the machine apart. The reason I say that, and I will try and explain now for you. Right, let me explain this correctly. The first screw that we have here is going into steel. It's a fine thread. This is a more coarse thread. This type of screw is designed to go into the plastic. So do keep them all separate. So once we've got these off, you normally have a couple of clips at the top, and the panel can come away. Put that safely, and now we could take the whole front of the machine off, but I'm not going to for this tutorial. We just need to remove this screw, and the small one at the bottom. And now I need to turn the machine around. There is 1 screw hidden at the bottom here. We have 2 screws at the bottom here. Really, you only need to undo the one on this side, but I would say to you, undo the other one, for the simple reason being is we've got to ease this panel away from this panel. Now we have a selection of screws going down. The 2 at the bottom are plastic screws because they're going into the plastic housing. Steel screw, steel screw, steel screw, and steel screw. Okay, now that this panel is ready to come loose, all the screws are undone. You could use a flat blade screwdriver and just carefully prise the front panel. You can see here there are 3 plastic lugs. You do not want to break these. Once that is eased off, ease off the back panel. and the panel will come away. Okay, I'll just quickly run you through what all the bits are. We have the return pipe from the container. This means this return pipe, if water is overfilling in the container, it comes back down to the pump system. Therefore, it activates the sensor, which would automatically turn the water container on. This is what tells the container that it's, or tells the program on the machine that it's full of water. Then we have the pump out. This is the pipe that runs from here all the way through up to the top, and the water goes into the container for collection. So we need to take these two pipes off. Just use a flat blade screwdriver on the black pipe and just carefully prise it up so it comes off. We could also blow through this to make sure there is no blockage in this pipe. Perfectly clear. Then we need to take the return pipe off. This just comes out. Now we need one torque screw, which is just inside here, and that screw can come out. And then you need to take the cover off. Just press the cover and lift it up. There are a couple of lugs. Sometimes they are quite tricky to get off. And there we go. There's a clip there, clip there, clip there, clip there, and one there. And the screw goes in there. Now we have the pump housing itself. Now there's a little plastic clip, and you just need to prise that at the end, and that will open up. Sorry, I've got to get my head in the way of the camera. And that clip then opens, which allows you to get at the two wires. There's two wires going to the pump, one there, and this one goes to the sensor, which is a double pink there. Once that's out, we can lift the pump out. And I'm carefully going to lift this out. There's a little clip just inside, and we lift this up, and the pump comes away. And I think I can see my problem straight away. Can you see the fluff that is on the two probes here? This is what gives a resistance. And if we have good continuity between, if it was full of water, therefore this would be getting a high reading. And this fluff that is built up on the end here that you can see could be the problem. I'll just take all that off, and we're going to clean up all this, and then I'm also going to show you how to test the motor, because as you can see on the label here, if I can get that just down to the camera, this pump is a 230, 240 volt pump. This means that I can bench test the pump while in the machine to make sure the pump is doing its job, because it has a little impeller in here, and if it's not pumping the water at the correct pressure, therefore the water will not get to the container at the top. So I'm going to give this a good clean. There are some clips that you could take off, which we can inspect the actual impeller itself. Now, I do not actually recommend doing this for the simple reason these clips can be quite brittle. If we break them, we would have to replace it. And there is the impeller. If this is blocked, this will also cause a problem. Can you see here? So we're going to clean all this up first, and then we will actually test the machine. While the pump's being cleaned, I'm just going to turn my light on so you can actually see the crud that is in the bottom of here. This is meant to be totally clean and free of any dirt. Because it's got dirt in there, this gets into the pump housing itself, and this can cause the problem. So we're going to clean all the inside of this machine up, and then we'll reassemble and test the pump.
By having a better process of evaporation. I can see the bits of blood coming out of there now.
Okay, as you can see, I've spent some time now and I've gone through the whole machine, cleaning out all of this chamber, the ducting system going through the door. It would be nice in another video to take the other side panel off the machine and really clean around the two fan systems, because that will even make it more efficient. But what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to show you a test procedure you can do on the pump. As I said, it's 240 volts, and I've made a test lead up here. So I'm just going to plug this directly into the mains, and I'll put that there for you. And then plug it into a power supply. And as you can see, the pump is turning perfectly. No problems at all with this. So I'll turn it off for a second and I'm going to show you the pump system working. So first thing I need to do is put this cover back on. And these, as I've said, are very, very delicate. So make sure you get all the clips on correctly and try not to break any, because you would have to buy a whole pump unit. And I'll just take the lead off. They're finicky little things, these are. Okay, and we're going to fit the pump unit back in. Goes under the two lugs on this side and then just clips down. We'll put the water pipe on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just rest that there. And now I'm going to pour some water in the system to actually, so I can activate the pump and make sure it's pumping to the correct height, because pumps are capable of lifting water to a certain head. If the pump is not efficient, therefore it might not be able to lift the water this ½ meter height. Okay, I'm going to pour a little water into the top here. This water now is going down into the chamber. Just a little more. And it's coming down the return pipe, as I said. Okay, we can see water in the bottom chamber, and when we activate the pump now, the water should be coming back down here because the collection bowl is not in. And you can see the water coming back down the return pipe as the pump is pumping it up here. And I'll do a close-up for you on the top of the soap drawer here. As you can see here, we've got water flowing from the pump at a very good pace. And that is going back down the return pipe to the pump. So we know the pump is working perfectly and it's got a very good pressure on this pump. Okay, what I'm going to do now is, because I've got to tilt the machine over, I'm actually going to put the return pipe into here to drain all the water off. And this will dry the bottom of the machine out completely. So let's put all the wiring back in. I've clipped it underneath. That's the sensor. All it is electricity between two probes. When there's no water, there'll be zero resistance. When there is water, then it will be getting a reading. And now we'll connect the pump, and we've got to put the cover on. This just clips into place. Then put the screw back in. We'll put the internal flap in after, so I can show you how clean it is and how much more efficiently it will dry now and how much money it will actually save you. Okay, now we need to put the side panel on. You'll have to put it in at an angle just to get over this front cover, and lift up the metal. And that is on. Now we'll lever the panel out slightly, making sure not to damage these clips. And that looks all perfect. So what we'll do now is put a couple of screws in on the back. Making sure that the ones at the bottom are the plastic screws. Then we've got a couple at the front, so let's attach this panel now. Just make sure it's all perfectly lined up. Another metal one for the top. So that's all the ones apart from one metal one there. Screw head's not very good on that. Okay, I'll rotate the machine round for you. Okay, all we need to do is put the facial panel on, make sure that the wiring goes underneath, locate it, clip the clips into the top. Now we can put the plastic screws, these are the aluminium ones. You'll know if they're aluminium because they won't be magnetic. And we have the one screw in the side panel here, or in the side of the fascia. Now we've got the one at the bottom, which is plastic. Two underneath, so we'll just tilt the machine back to do that. As you can see, a little bit of water running out because I've tilted it over. I can lower that down now. And I've got one which is hidden on the side, which we've got to do on here. Plastic one. We can rest that down now. And we can have a look at what we've done in here. Okay, I've put my light in there so you can see there's two clips at the back. Take the panel in, snap that into place. Better remove my light. Now you can actually see how clean this is. This makes such a difference to the efficiency. And look how clean it is in here. I mean, it only takes no more than an hour's work to do this job. Everything is cleaned up, allowing the air to flow much more efficiently and allowing the condenser plate to work much more efficiently. Now let's have a look inside the door. I really cleaned these areas up in here, and this is now spotlessly clean. Also, the filter is spotlessly clean, and we can drop that into location. And now the dryer will actually function a lot better, much cleaner, allowing the air to flow through, allowing it to condense the water quicker, and therefore drying the clothes faster. Okay, the whole dryer's together. We only need to put the water container in. I've cleaned up all this area as well. We'll just drop the lid on, and I'll do up the 2 screws. And the tumble dryer now is ready for testing. All I need to do is put a load in. Okay, I've got some shirts and everything from working the other day. Put them into the dryer. Plug the machine back in, and we'll test the machine. It's heating, and it should go through the cycle no problem. It will take 10-15 minutes for it to create an error if there still is an error. But I'm pretty sure that the fluff that was on that conducting sensor to tell them the pump housing, if there was any water in there, was giving a false reading, and this is why the light was coming on with the container. Okay, the tumble dryer has done 1 load already, and it's on its 2nd load, and as you can see, there is water in the container, so this means that the pump and everything is all working perfectly. There's no error code coming up with the container light now, so the tumble dryer now, not only is it working, but it's now working efficiently, which should be saving at least 1 kilowatt per load cycle. And as I said at the beginning of the video, that can equate to in excess of £70 a year, depending on how bad the efficiency is. So it's well worth doing this on a regular basis. That's just the dryer going into the opposite rotation. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much indeed for watching. And if we really helped, you can always click on the Bipolar Beer page and donate to the website. Thanks very much indeed for watching. And remember, all parts for Bosch, Neff and Siemens tumble dryers are available at the website. The link is in the description below. Thanks for watching.